Hi, I'm Cautex, and in this video, I'm going to be talking about maximizing DPS on Soulrender Dormazain as a warrior. This time around, it's not exclusive to arms, because Fury actually has a niche on this fight, so let's get started. Depending on your raid comp, you have a lot of control over tailoring your damage profile to provide the most value to your raid. Both Fury and arms are capable of roughly the same DPS on this fight, but where that damage goes will differ. Specifically, Fury's going to do more DPS to the adds, and arms is going to do more damage to the boss. This distinction is important because if you have a Windwalker monk like my guild does, then the add damage is much less important because, well, that monk's going to do insane AoE DPS. If we didn't have that monk, then I would likely go Fury and try to provide more DPS to the adds. If I did this fight as Fury, assuming that I was still Night Fae, I would do this fight soulbound with Karain and then using Depths of Insanity and Destructive Reverb as my conduits. And of course, I would do this fight with Signet of Tormented Kings. If I was Kyrian, I would soulbind with Mikanikos and then use Depths of Insanity and Piercing Verdict as my potency conduits. And then I would be using Elysian Might as my legendary. If you're doing this fight as Fury, I would take the standard AoE build that included Fresh Meat and Bladestorm. However, if the adds are dying in a reasonable amount of time, then I would take Sudden Death over Fresh Meat because that would provide more boss DPS. Now, in reality, I'm currently Night Fae, and I do this fight as arms while soulbound with Karain, and then I use the standard potency conduits of Crash the Ramparts and Mortal Combo. Even if the adds get absolutely melted, Karain provides a lot of value because of the fact that you're going to have around 15 to 20% uptime on first strike over the course of the fight, and that's obviously a very significant benefit to your boss DPS. With that said, Dreamweaver is still the best pure boss damage option, though it does have the positional requirement of needing to stand in the Ancient Aftershock, which can be very tricky on this fight. Naya is a good middle ground option as the mastery benefit is pretty strong on the adds, while also only doing slightly less boss DPS than Dreamweaver. And it doesn't have that positioning requirement. Now, because a lot of people will keep Karain as their Fury conduit so that they can do Mythic Plus, if you weren't willing to swap those conduits to Karain for arms, then personally, I think that my second choice would be to use Naya rather than Dreamweaver. As for the fight itself, this fight will do 2 sets of adds, then a dance, then another 2 set of adds, and so on. The second set of adds will happen around a minute after the first set, but that's not counting the time that it takes to kill the big add and then group up the little ones. On the pull, I use basically all my cooldowns, meaning that I'm going to use Warbreaker, Avatar, and Ancient Aftershock. On the first set of adds, I'm going to use Sweeping Strikes on the big add, and then when the smaller adds get gripped in, Warbreaker should be coming off cooldown, so I use that, and then I use Bladestorm. For add set number 2, I'm going to use Sweeping Strikes again on the big add, and then I should have Warbreaker, Avatar, and Ancient Aftershock for the small adds. Before the next ad set happens, there's going to be a dance, and during that time, Warbreaker should come off cooldown, and I make sure to use it as quickly as possible during the dance, even though I'm not going to get full benefit out of it, just simply because I'm going to get something out of it, and otherwise I'm going to hold it for a really long time. For ad set 3, I'm going to have everything available, so I'm going to have Avatar, I'm going to have Ancient Aftershock, I'm going to have Warbreaker, and I'm going to have Bladestorm. For progression, and depending on how long it takes you to kill ads, it might actually be better to hold Bladestorm for the next set. The reason being that ad set number 4 lines up with chain set number 3, which is the hardest part of the fight, and also the point where you have the least amount of time to kill the ads. One trick that you can do is that rather than holding Avatar for when you move on to the little ads, you should be looking to maximize its overall benefit. When dealing with ads, you're going to start out by damaging 2 targets, which is the big ad plus the boss, then 5 targets, which is the 4 little ads plus the boss, and then it's going to go back to 1 target. Now, Avatar is likely not going to be up for the entirety of an ad set, but having it up for 2 targets is obviously better than having it up for 1 target. Therefore, you should be looking to use it as early as possible while on the big ad, but you also still need to ensure that you're having it up for the entire time you're killing the little ads. Figuring out how early you can use that Avatar really just comes down to getting used to how fast your guild likes to kill the ads. Ad set number 5 comes right after a dance, and your CDs should be coming up right around the time that you're grouping up the little ads. Then ad set 6 was always just CC'd while we killed the boss for all the kills that I've had with my guild. Now, if you're doing this fight as Fury, because you're going to be doing it for ad damage, I would recommend only using Recklessness on pull, which, because you're going to be using Lust there, it should allow it to be back up by the time you're killing the first ad set. Because Fury's cooldowns are up roughly every minute, and the ads show up roughly 1 minute apart, you should be able to use all of your cooldowns for every single set of ads. Though, depending on how fast you're killing the big ads, Ancient Aftershock could eventually become desynced and would need to be held in order to get back in line with the ad spawning. Now, if you're Kyrian, then you don't have to worry about this problem because you're going to have Spear available for every single ad set. It's worth noting that during the first dance, Recklessness should be coming off cooldown, and it's possible to use it there and still have it back up by the time that you're dealing with the next ad set. Bladestorm will be coming off cooldown as well, though I don't recommend using that because since it's on a fixed 1 minute cooldown, it probably will not be back up in time for the ads. If you would like to see the full boss kill video that includes comms, then check the video description or click the card in the upper right. As always, tell me why my opinions are dumb, and also what tricks that you use that I didn't mention. Lastly, I just want to say thank you for watching this video, and subscribe for more.